Shop colorlessoranges.com. We have 5 unisex tees, 1 woman tee. Choose your gender, pick a color, pick a size, and it'll be shipped same day, baby. Okay? Also, if you're in New York, holler at me. I will drop it off to you. Out of the black into the blue. What up, what up, what up? What it do, what it does. Welcome back to Colorless Oranges, where I share my experiences to help better yours. I'm your host, Sydney Hyatt, and today we're talking She's Holier Than Thou. Let's just get right into it, baby. Happy Tuesday, or Monday, or Wednesday, or Thursday, or Friday, or Saturday, or Sunday, you know. I want to preface that this doesn't necessarily have to be about religion, but I think that we understand the context in which holier is being used in this sentence. I have realized I am wrong in a situation. I have reflected enough to know how I can be. I wouldn't necessarily say I am overbearing, but in this situation, we're going to talk about, I want you to have an open mind. Let me set the scene for you, okay? I am the second oldest, but oldest daughter. I am the manager, the self-titled, self-proclaimed manager in this family. I've had a lot of responsibilities as a young adult, and even as a child I had a lot of responsibilities, okay? All of which have made me who I am today. Who I am today is somebody who believes that they know best. I feel that I've had a lot of experiences, so I know how to give advice to people. Now that's nice and all, but what if those people don't want advice? What if you have a sister who just wants a sister? What if you want a friend that just can listen to you? What if you have a child that just wants to be heard? What if you have a partner who just wants to be listened to? And I think that I never listen to people's situation or whatever to just respond with my ideas. I think I listen with an open mind. I understand like certain people are at different stages of their life. They're not at my expectations or standards that I had growing up. But when it came to my relationship with my sister, I kind of realized I am not practicing what I preach, right? So I haven't spoken to my sister and I can't tell you how long. I don't know if it's been a year, 6 months. Like I really don't know. I can't really tell you. The concept of time for me is a little bit odd. I know things are happening and I see things happening and certain things happen then, but like I can't really give you an exact date. So, but we just haven't spoken in a while. This is our second time not talking for a really long time. The first time we didn't talk for a while, I know my mom had like an intervention. She was like, you girls need to fix this. Okay. Now this time around, I know my mom is very over it and she's just allowing things to play out how they are going to play out. So now we haven't spoken in a while. I was under the impression that my presence bothers her. Who I am, what I stand for, the things that I've done in my life bother her. Certain things that I've done to her when she was younger, I thought she was still carrying that. I thought these were the things that were bothering her. I thought me just graduating college annoyed her because that's not something that she cares about. I thought that me having a nice job or whatever affected her. Little to my surprise, it is none of that. I truly want you guys to understand, I could not wrap my head around why her and I could not make it work. And it's truly just really my fault. I was not an open ear at all times, you know. She would tell me things and I would come back and give her some advice on how to do this, or you should, or why don't you? And it's like, sometimes people don't want that. People just want you to listen and, you know, not try to change them on who they are or whatnot. You know, she would tell me things like about, you know, getting tattoos and stuff. And for me, it's not, I don't condemn it, but it's also not something that I can really route you in. Like, I'm not the type of person that's going to tell you like, yeah, spend your last dime on getting a tattoo. Like, that's just not who I am. And it's very difficult for me to respect her and her wishes, you know. Not that we will get into full-blown arguments about the things that she wants to do, but I have issues with everyone that I've ever come across in respecting them where they are and letting people be. I always think that I can help people get better. I always think that I can change people. And like, I'm saying it as bluntly like that because I know that my intentions aren't to like hurt you or anything, because I see this really high potential in you. Like, I know what you're capable of. I feel like I see that, but it's not up to me. I don't get to determine that. I don't get to change you. I don't have the right to make you feel any kind of way for the things that you want to do. I've had to learn to leave people where they are. It's not my responsibility to parent my sister. I shouldn't have to tell her that she needs to go to school or any of those things, or she needs a job. Like, that's not my responsibility. Especially if you don't want it. You know, she's not opening the door for constructive criticism or for me to help her in some kind of way. She's trying to just have conversation with me. And I guess in those times where she was trying, I didn't allow that. And it pushed her away. My wanting her to be better in my eyes and with my stuff has pushed her away. The advice that I would give and the things that I would say made it seem that I was holier than thou. As my brother would say, I would talk shit. And I see it clearly now. Like, before you would ask me, I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like, she got to be jealous or something. Like, I don't know what's her problem. It's not like, I was actually having this conversation with a friend and they were explaining to me like, oh, like, how do you think she feels that you are the one that gets to go grocery shopping with your mom? I'm like, it has nothing to do with the time that I spend with my mom, because if anything, she could have the same amount of time too. She could do those things. It's not like my mom doesn't open those doors for her or anything like that. And as we dug deeper, it wasn't about her jealousy or envy. It was more about me using my person, like my things, my expectations, my standards on her. And then I saw that it's around everybody else. Certain people come and tell me certain things and they are open to my constructive criticism and they do apply it and then they change. Then there's other people who know that it's just natural for me to just tell you like, hey, it's cheaper in Walmart if you bought this, or you could go here to get this. You know, like, I'm a real problem solver. And that's not what we need at all times. I think it's just because that's what I've received every time I've had a problem. And I've asked for a long time for a little bit of compassion. I've wanted to, you know, feel my feelings a bit longer. And I've never really got that. So I don't know how to do that. I really don't know how to be a sister, if I'm being honest. I think that my sister role has looked like a junior parent. You got to do this, you got to do that. And with these thoughts in my head and all, like, knowing this now that I've reflected and I've understood, the ways that I'm trying to change that are when I am about to tell my brother, like, hey, you should throw out the garbage. You should shower. You should do your homework. I ask myself, is that something my mom would say? And if it is, I'm not saying it. You don't need to do anything. You do what you want to do. I'm your sister. I promise you guys, my body is just letting out these emotions. I'm not sad or anything. It's just that's how my body reacts. That when I'm passionate about something, I either cry or I just cry. Yeah, I think that's how I show my passion, is through my tears, my fiery hot tears, because they're so hot. Oh my god. All of this also had me realizing, like, when I would hang out with my brother, it was number one, doing errands with him that he needed done. So like if he needed some shoes or whatever, there I am going with him to the mall. And then also I was like doing these things with him and his friends because I'm the designated driver. He didn't have a license. Now he has a license and a car. It's like, sayonara, see ya. And so when I realized that, I made it be known, like, you know, I'm not gonna like tag along to all of these things. You know, he's young and he wants to have fun. Go live your life, brother. But you know, if he wants me to go somewhere, then he has to tell me that. Like, I can't. I'm not just gonna appear to places or go places that he's not saying, because I don't want it to seem like I'm, you know, being a parent. I'm trying to chill out. When I told him this realization, he's like, he doesn't really see it that way. He kind of sees it more like I'm just an overprotective sister, but maybe he sees the difference between my sister and I, like how one sister's sisters and the other one does. They're cool in their ways and he and I are cool in our ways. We all have different situations. That's why we're different siblings, okay? I was just always upset because I felt like I've apologized to you for all the things that I've done to you. You know, I know that I've hurt you. And I just kind of felt like you wanted to play victim and sit in your sorrows for longer than everybody so that you could just manipulate people and always remind them, like, hey, you did this to me, so I deserve to be doing this. I don't like that. I don't agree with that. And that's kind of where my mind was shaped in regards to my sister and I. I feel that she has played victim for a long time. And when her and I had our falling out, I just felt like it was another moment of that. And, you know, now I realize that it's not just things in the past that have happened between her and I. It's the now, where there was a space for us to have a relationship, and she just doesn't, you know, want what I was giving. She doesn't. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I can see a lot of people in my life and understand why they don't have me there like 24/7. It might be exhausting to always hear somebody tell you like what you need to change and what you need to do better. It is a part of who I am, but I'm trying to learn to tone it down and just give my stuff when I'm asked to give. Obviously her relationship and mine is a two-way street, and she could have told me these things of how she felt or anything anytime, and I understand she is her own person, and if she doesn't want to talk to me, she doesn't have to. But I did reach out. I did write her a handwritten letter expressing myself and telling her I kind of understand a little bit more our falling out. She didn't respond to it. It's fine though. I know that I've extended myself in a way that I feel comfortable in. My goal was to never like try to corner her and like, you know, because we live in the same house, it's like, you need to talk to me, we gotta talk. Like, I never wanted to do that to her. I wanted her to always, you know, feel comfortable. Just a lot of this is starting to make a lot of sense for me. And, you know, on one hand, people don't have to accept this kind of a person in their life. They don't have to want somebody that's constantly, you know, giving their opinion and input on their life and their business that they're telling you. But on the other hand, it's just people don't like to change, and people like to stay in their comfort. And I'm always going to battle between the two. Like, sure, yes, I can tone it down, but I'm not going to take it away. I'm not going to just stop being the kind of person who offers good advice, because I've been in these situations. Now, it's not my job to heal everybody. usually when I feel called to say things to certain people, I'm doing the right thing. It's usually just the people that are like closest to me in my life that it just doesn't work with. But with everybody else, it does. So I don't know. I just know if certain people aren't ready for it, it's not my business to do so, and I will take a step back. I've also understood that I cannot keep wrapping myself around everyone else's issues and removing my own as if I don't have anything. I feel like I have been at a place of, okay, this is a problem that I'm having. This is an issue. I've just been through something traumatic. I tried to heal, and I get to this point of, I healed. And now I see this group of people here who are going through the same things that I just went through. So I kind of climb back down and try to heal these people. And that just doesn't work out because I actually never cross over. So I might be coming back and telling you like, hey, this is what you need to do to get here. But then it's like, okay, these people are like, well, I want to get here. I also want to get here. I think one of the biggest ways for me to do that is to not reflect so much on the past anymore, not trying to give you so much advice from the things that I've been through a long time ago. It's just how I'm going about my day to day, the things that are happening to me now. And if this helps you, then it helps you. But I'm no longer going to like rehash the past. It always actually made me feel a little bit icky in a way. I didn't like to feel like I was bringing up something, like I just was using it as references. I felt like, like a citation, letting you know, like, if you've gone through this, then this is the way to help and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, okay, that already happened. Let's talk about now. I was using a lot of the past as I was using it to justify like my sister's actions, like this is why she's angry with me because of the stuff in the past. And it's not in the past, it's in the now. She's upset about the stuff that happened now. And sure, she might have other things. I can't really say. I don't really know exactly 100% because it hasn't come out of her mouth. As much as I've given her the space to speak openly and freely to me, it just doesn't happen because she doesn't want it to. Okay? It's simple. I am trying to celebrate my forward moving thoughts. I try to celebrate my movements forward. Like, just I'm trying to do the best that I can. And I'm trying to be open to receiving, whether that's advice, whether that's another experience, however it is, whatever it is to be received, I'm open for it. I kind of shut myself down from being open by trying to plan everything. Like, I'm going to go do my hair, so I'm going to go straight from here. Like, I try to be precise, right? So I'll leave straight from my house and I'll go here. I won't stop at Dunkin'. No, I won't do this. I won't do that. Where these are opportunities for me to receive. So I think I've been a little detrimental to myself and my growth. Like, this conversation that I had with this person that helped me open my eyes, I could have had it a long time ago. I mean, maybe now is the time that it needed to happen, but I don't want to be blocking myself anymore. I don't want to be the person who is holding myself back from just growing, which is the one thing that I want the most. Like, I want to get out of this stagnant period that I feel like I've been in. And if the first thing had to be understanding where my sister comes from and, letting go of my shame and guilt there, because, that's been also a journey. The first time I ever went to therapy in like 2016, 2017, I remember I would come out of those sessions bawling my eyes out for my sister. Like, damn, I really hurt my sister. Like, I'm so sorry. And I would apologize profusely to this child because she was a child then. And like, she just didn't care. Not in a bad way, but it was just like, I don't really care about those things. I guess she always cared about the now. And I was living in the damn, like, I really did this and I really did that. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I ain't got to start living in the now. And I gotta stop planning so much. I think these are things that help me. And one of those things that help me be present is I've been doing word puzzles. I've always liked word puzzles. I've always had like an app on my phone for it. I try to like focus on something and just allow the other things to come like within, and like, you know, I don't want to allow my like perfectionism in my plans, like this has to be like this, and not be able to go around it a certain way, because maybe you wanted to hear my sick voice, you know, maybe that would have been a good thing. I don't know. I was like, no, people don't want to hear somebody stuffy and congested. I might be a little congested now, but it's not necessarily how bad it was the other day. I titled this "She's Holier Than Thou" because some of us aren't intentionally trying to act as though we are better than people. It comes off that way. And it might come off that way at a bar, and a girl's looking at you and she's insecure and she's like, oh, look at this girl. She thinks she's all that with her little whatever. That's her insecurities talking. Now, a friend might think you act like you're holier than thou because you sit up here and tell them that could never be me. Actually, I would have been left them a long time ago. Why aren't you doing this way? You should. And it's not even, it doesn't even have to be in that tone, because I don't talk like that. And I can still come off as holier than thou. You know, in many, many ways, you can come off as holier than thou without intending to. I think the biggest for me is like when it comes to friends and just doing like things that I wouldn't do, I can come off a bit like a snob. I understand, like, yeah, that's cool, you know, like go do what you gotta do. I'm understanding and respectful in a way, but like if I'm constantly commenting on everything else you're saying, and then there's this one thing that you're saying to me and I'm not commenting back, it gives off a feeling of like, you think you're better than me because you didn't do this or something. You know what I mean? That is something that comes from other people, but it is something that you give off. Like there has to be like some sort of like balance there. I don't know. I'm moving forward. Starting off with my sister, starting off with my brother. And now I'm just trying to do what's right for me. How I can be free, be open, be in a state of receiving. Be in a positive mind. I've been feeling so like fulfilled, so happy. Truly like blissful. Yesterday I went to a yoga class. And we were talking about, well, she was talking about, because I didn't say anything. She was talking about celebration and how do we celebrate our wins? You know, how do we celebrate our progress? And actually, at the end of class, you're allowed to like write a quote. And the quote that I wrote was progression, not perfection. So just, you know, one step closer to your goal is amazing. But I liked how she mentioned gratitude is a way to show your celebration, like for you to celebrate. I feel like a lot of us think about celebrating as like party, go out with friends, la la la. I celebrate things and I commemorate things with an experience. Okay, so if that experience entails us going to dinner or opening a glass of wine, sure. But then there's also another one that I've caught myself doing this month, which is going to yoga. I love yoga. Yoga is my number one thing that helps alleviate my mind, bring me back to what my goal is, get me right back on track. And I love doing it on Mondays because Mondays is my favorite day of the week. And it just is one thing that I do for me. And lately I've been seeing all of the things that I do for me that are fulfilling me. And little by little, like piece by piece, I am starting to feel whole and happy again. Not that I have to go out and fix this problem, not that I have to go out and fix this problem, but that everything, I'm working more on the good versus the negative or the bad or the other side, I'm enjoying myself, doing the things that I want to do freely without any task or agenda. I'm not like torturing myself because I'm going to the gym and I don't want to do that, I feel like a lot of us lose sight, like we're not listening to our bodies. Like I understand, motivation and like pushing yourself through certain things, but like if you're not called to do those things, you shouldn't do them. I was called to write my sister a letter. I was called to share my story now with you about a letter. But then there's certain things that I am not and I don't do. If your body is craving spinach, go eat the spinach. Now, I'm not saying to sit and fall into your negative behaviors, but in those behaviors is something that you need to see. If you're constantly talking, my biggest pet peeve is when people complain about their job. If you hate your job so much, find another job. Deeply look in your job. What is it about your job that you hate so much? I was actually having a conversation yesterday with this girl inside of the sauna. She was telling me that she works at a law firm. And I was like, oh, wow, like I would love to do that. She's like, actually, no, you don't. Like, she hates it and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, so what are you passionate about? And she told me that she was passionate about sleep and that she wishes she could be a stay-at-home mom. And I was like, well, find yourself a husband. She's like, yeah, I'm pushing my boyfriend and all of this. And I'm using this story to help you understand perspective. She doesn't like that job, right? The job is not for her. She doesn't like it. Why? Because she'd rather be doing something else. What would she rather be doing? She'd rather be home sleeping. Why does she rather be home sleeping? I mean, that's up to her to decide. Why doesn't she want to use her energy in something like this? Whereas me, for example, I would love that job. A different perspective here. These are the things that I like to do. Also, I have found that I do a lot of fulfilling things in my life now, that when I have to do something that takes a little bit more out of me, like writing an essay that I don't care about. Like right now we're like doing something for one of these classes. It's my media industries 3 class, which I've had 2 media industry classes, and the other ones, they weren't as like teeth pulling as this one. Like this, he's just not entertaining. And I think the things that he wants from us is like, I don't find the reason why. But so whatever. I can do those things a little bit easier now because I'm not so angry. I'm not so filled with, oh, I have to do this. Like, I don't even do anything for myself. Like, why should I? Like, no, actually, I'm very happy right now. I am doing the things that I like. And so the unenjoyable things that I know that will come to an end sooner or later, it's okay. It's not so hard. And so maybe somebody like her who is doing things that she doesn't want to do, like going to the gym, because I feel like a lot of people also go to the gym just like as followers. Like, sorry, y'all, it stops at 30 minutes. But do you want, like, I believe people go to the gym because they're followers. If you want to lose weight, there's other ways to lose weight other than going to the gym. I feel like a lot of the workouts and stuff aren't even designed for certain people's bodies, and they're just doing it because other people are doing it. And that's all comes down to listening to yourself and listening to what it actually is that your body wants. Like the other day, I was craving ice cream. I never crave ice cream. And then I remembered that we had ice cream here. Honestly, after I had that ice cream, my throat, it didn't hurt anymore. I had like a dry, my throat just felt really dry. Because I had a lot of phlegm, so I kept like spitting it out, and I guess like it scratched my throat. I don't know. But once I had the ice cream, I felt much better. My body knows what it wants, and I'm always one step closer to finding myself, understanding myself, becoming one with myself every time I listen to myself. Every time I know what I want to do and I don't do it, there goes another reason why I should listen to myself, Or even when I do something that my body is telling me to do and I feel much better. Like, our bodies are smart. Our brains are very intelligent. we should try to use all of the juice that it gives us, you know? I think a little bit deeper why the things that you're doing you don't like, and just try to change them. I'm not saying this to you in a place of I'm holier than thou. I'm saying this in a place of experience. I feel also that I use this podcast and that whole idea that, you know, if you want help, you're going to come to this podcast to find yourself a little bit of help, because that's true. I'm not pushing this video down your throat. I'm not, you know, calling people up like, hey, go watch my video right now. Like, you should watch this. You need this. So I kind of use that as an excuse of like, I'm not doing anything that people don't want me to. But also in certain things that I can say here, like, this is only for certain type of people that want to change, you know? And I'm okay with that. I'm not mad or anything that, you know, it's just, it is what it is. And people will change and grow when they need to. They'll get to the point that they need to when they need to. That's it. That's all for me. I'm finding more ways to fulfill myself and be a little bit happier. There are certain things that I want and I am trying to obtain. I feel free as a bird. There's a song called Bird on a Wire. I will play a little part for you. This is the part, y'all. If I have been unkind, I hope that you can just let it go by. That song is beautiful. It's a masterpiece. I think a lot of people have covered that song. That's just the one that I like. I like songs that make me feel emotional. I like to cry. I like to scream. I deeply resonate with that song. It's not necessarily that I want to be mean to you or anything, or I want to act like I'm better than you. I'm just trying to help. But growing up and being a part of this new society and being a part of the world that I wish to be in means I am kind to myself and I try to put me first so I can be a better for you. And I could lead by example and not with my words. And with that being said, I have been on a hunt to find the songs that make me feel happy. Like, where are the songs that I like that make me feel happy? Not that make me cry, because a lot of songs that I love and I believe to make me happy are the ones that make me cry. I'm one of those people that I just don't cry like with my thoughts, you know? I cry with music, I cry with movies, I cry while talking, but I can't just cry with my thoughts. Like, I'm not the type of person that, I mean, I do cry alone. I have cried alone. I will talk about that in another episode. But I love that song, and I'm on the hunt to find the song that makes me just feel happy. I've been looking for it and I don't know. Like, I don't want it to make me cry of happiness. And I don't want it to be a happy song because it's pulls a part out of me. I just want it to be just a good feel song. Like, a lot of songs that I have like that are good feel, they talk about things that are not like I'm gonna play one for you actually. How deeply are you sleeping? Oh, are you still awake? This is the song that makes me happy and I don't ever skip. Keep on loving you. Who I'm gonna keep on loving? Myself? Is it me? Is this a song from me to me? Should have seen by the look in my eyes, baby. Also another one. Makes me so happy to hear this song. It's called Losing My Religion, okay, y'all? I think songs that make me feel happy are passionate songs, okay? That's just it. That's really, really the thing that's happening here, y'all. Okay. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you can share this video with someone that you love, or I don't know. I hope that you have an amazing week, and I will see you next week for another episode. I am Sydnerella. I am Sydney Hyatt. I'm your host on Colorless Oranges, and I'll see you and you in the back soon. Also, one of my favorite people to watch on TikTok is Nate the Hoof Guy, and he trims cows' hooves, and he calls them heifers. First of all, I thought the word heifer was bad. My grandmama said it was a bad word for me not to use, but a heifer is a cow. Let's see where the word heifer originated. A heifer is a young female cow that has not yet given birth to a calf. So I'm a heifer. I'm a young female cow that has not given birth to a calf. Also, but like old women, they always call each other heifers and they be having kids, so they don't know the right definition of words. Thank you so. If I've been unkind. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. I love you too.